Well, how y'all are this evening? This your buddy George Jones over here in the gun room. Say, listen, uh, I wanted to do an old video on. See if we get this thing to come up here like we need for it to. There we go. I'll do an old video on basic gun cleaning techniques. Over the years, I've noticed over at the shop, people will come into the store with a firearm that won't work. The reason why it won't work is because they haven't cleaned it since they've owned it, and it simply failed. So I thought we'd make a few little videos on how to correctly clean a firearm. And so we're going to start out with centerfire revolver. That's this guy for tonight's. This is a Model 15 Smith & Wesson. It's fairly rare 15 Smith in that it's a round butt. Got the banana grip on it, which makes it fairly unique. But this is, like most guns that I've owned for a long period of time, pretty well worn and broke in because, buddy, I like to shoot them. I ain't no getting out of it. So let's do this. I did the previous video on the gun cleaning equipment and chemicals that I like to use. So let's start. The two dirtiest, filthiest places on a centerfire revolver are up in here around the forcing cone and the top strap and the leg of the frame. The cylinder faces around here, the cylinder, and inside the barrel. Those are the place because the way the centerfire revolver is made, it's pretty much all in there, and it doesn't get a whole lot of dirt and grime in the action. But over time, it has to be cleaned as well. So let's get started here. First thing I like to do is get my brush. That's this guy. I use these little brushes like this. Get you some solvent. I use GI bore cleaner. And mop you some solvent into each individual cylinder. Okay, get some solvent there and get it in each individual cylinder. And just let it sit for a little while. Now, when you run that bore brush in and out of there, what happens is it flips solvent all over the rest of your gun, which actually in reality, that's probably a good thing. Okay, then it gets good to go up there and run it in that barrel. Get you some in there. And at the same time, you're brushing that guy. But we want some solvent to stay in there. You can't even get it on camera there the way you got it set. Okay, now, with the cylinder and the barrel pretty well soaked, the next step is to, you got plenty of solvent in here already. So you get your GI weapons cleaning toothbrush and come up here and clean this area real good. Get in there in that little gap between the barrel and the top strap of the frame. Clean that guy out real good. Okay. And get you a little solvy on your brush here. And get in here on this area, which is the battery face. This little flange on both sides of the revolver's frame in the back is called the battery face. Okay, get in there. Okay. Get in your crane area, which is in here. Pretty good. Don't forget the little flutes that go down the barrel. Okay. And having done that, then you get you a good wiping cloth. I use old t-shirts. Cut up old t-shirts. Just close your action up. And get in there and get to wiping with a soft cloth. This gets all of the powder fouling and lead residue and so forth that's settled on the gun off of the frame and outside action of the gun. Okay, and you can't get it all. You have to get in there and get it all on the out of the outside. Okay, turn the guy around there. Clean out your cylinder flutes. That's these parts right here. Make sure you got all that out of there. trigger guard behind the trigger. Okay. Got all the excess solvent wiped off your grips. I like solid grips. Some people like soft rubber grips. The soft rubber grips are kind of affected by most solvents, but I like the Bill Jordan style grip like this. It's solid material. You know, it doesn't kick your hand too bad if you've got a hold of it correctly. Dump your cylinder open, get in there, get your battery face inside of the frame, the crane, the leg in here. Okay. Once you've got that all wiped out and mopped out, get you a Q-tip and get in there and get into your cracks and crevices. Okay, around there. All around there. Cracks and crevices. Places like that. Okay. Okay. Now, the next step is to mop out your barrel and cylinders. Here's a GI 45 rod. I like it pretty good. Get you a pre-cut patch here. I like to make it a little bit long, so the tip holds the patch, and then the shank of the rod helps you in like a cleaning jack. Okay, now let's see what happens here. Let's get this up here, we can see the gun a little bit better. What I like to do is run it through and fold it back and run it through like that, run it all the way through, and then pull it out the other way. So what you're doing, you're mopping on that side of your cloth, and then you're mopping on this side. So you're running it out that way, and then you're pulling dirt back this way, but you're not leaving dirt in there, that you're just moving back and forth. Got through there. This is your first mop, so you're going to use the same patch all the way around. That's a little on the dirty side right there. Pull that guy off there. Get you a clean patch for mopping. Get back on there. Okay. Run that guy in and out. There we go. And that guy looks a lot better. Still kind of dirty, but it's a lot better. Now take this patch you've already used on your cylinders, bring it over here and make it your first mop for your barrel. Okay. A lot of people shoot guns to the point of failure before they clean them. There's a technical term for that in the shooting community, and that technical term is wrong. W-R-O-N-G, wrong. Like R-U-N-N-O-F-T, run off. Okay, that's wrong. What you do is, when you fire this gun, you burn that powder. Okay, when you fire that cartridge, okay, you burn the powder that's in it, you burn the priming that's in it, and put it in the gun's action. Okay? When you do that, twist that guy around there and get it turned around the other way. The patch may be a little bit too long to do that with. When you do that, what you do is you create a dose of microscopic cinders. Okay? And those microscopic cinders are laying all over the action of that gun, all in the barrel and so forth. And now you're pushing those microscopic cinders back and forth. Okay? And you, that's what you're doing. You're just using the abrasives of the powder fouling, powder ash, to wear your gun out. This is not so evident in a revolver. Bang, it goes down there, bang, it goes down there, bang, it goes down there. In an automatic, it's ejecting that cartridge to the rear, and you have positive pressure goes in there, and then the cartridge case comes out and helps deposit fouling all through the action in the interior of your gun. So, that's this is basic revolver cleaning. Can't say much more about it. I have the old green Orlon pad, and what you do with that guy is you clean your cylinder faces. Okay, your lead buildup gets around there, and you clean your cylinder faces. And this happens before you do your final mop out. Okay, so you take that green Orlon pad and cut you a piece of it off there, and get in there and scrub that lead and powder fouling off your cylinder faces, and they stay nice and shiny like that. I know, guys, I've seen guys scratch it off there with a file, dig it off there with a pocket knife, sand it off with emery boards and sandpaper. And those abrasives cut metal. You can eventually get your cylinder and barrel out of tolerance doing that. You can actually wear that gun out doing it. So, there's a little, another thing, there's a little round piece, a little bushing right in here, okay? And that bushing is the crane bushing. And you can actually get that cylinder to where it wobbles too far this way, because the abrasives in that thing have gotten to where it's basically worn that washer out. And put another one in there. It's relatively easy to do. You can get a K-frame, N-frame, L-frame, so forth kit from Smith & Wesson from their parts department. They'll send you 3 or 4 of them in a little thing and a little instruction sheet on how to fix it. But, there's no sense in wearing it out before it's time. Never do this with a revolver. Don't Hawaii 5-0 it, You come up there, you palm your cylinder shut. Don't get up there and go, that's bad. That wears this part out. It wears this part out. It wears this, to get around to the camera, it wears this part out. It wears your nose bushing out, It's hard on it. Just when you go and you're in a hurry, palm that thing shut, the index, and you're ready to go. Well, that's about the size of it. Basic gun cleaning and maintenance on the 38 caliber or centerfire revolver. Y'all have a good evening, and if you like my content, click on the old Patreon if you want to support me. Otherwise, like-a-tate, share-a-fi, commentate, and subscribe. All right, then. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks for viewing my stuff, and thanks for subscribing. We're going to be giving away an old gun here in about another 230 or so subscribers, and then every 1,000 after that. All right, then. We'll see y'all.